federal judge in Hawaii has frozen U.S. President Donald Trump's new executive order, temporarily barring the issuance of new visas to citizens of 6 Muslim-majority countries and suspending the admission of new refugees. Sean Spicer has said that the White House is just hearing about it as it's just breaking right now. Now, Trump has said that the freeze is unprecedented judicial outreach.
The bad, the sad news. Moments ago, I learned that a district judge in Hawaii part of the much overturned Ninth Circuit Court and I have to be nice, otherwise I'll get criticized for speaking poorly about our courts. I'll be criticized by these people, among the most dishonest people in the world. I will be criticized. I'll be criticized by them for speaking harshly about our courts. I would never want to do that. A judge has just blocked our executive order on travel and refugees coming into our country from certain countries. The order he blocked was a watered-down version of the first order that was also blocked by another judge and should have never been blocked to start with. This new order was tailored to the dictates of the Ninth Circuit's, in my opinion, flawed ruling. This is, in the opinion of many, an unprecedented judicial overreach. The law and the Constitution give the president the power to suspend immigration when he deems, or she, fortunately it will not be Hillary she, when he or she deems it to be in the national interests of our country.
And going across to our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, who joins us on the phone line for more details. Geeta, does this mean that the president's order has in effect been dismissed? Or will the White House be trying to repeal this? What happens next?
It is going to have an impact, given that this is a judge we're talking about, and in this entire this entire case of the federal judge having ruled against the executive order it is going to have an impact, given that they cannot go ahead and implement this order immediately, which was to happen as of today. What we are given to understand, and this the case has already been, there is already a precedent of the sort when the first executive order was signed by President Trump and a federal judge came and objected to it. This time around again, a federal judge has objected to it while President Trump is calling it a judicial overreach, and the judge himself, Watson, has come out and called it fundamentally flawed, the executive order. Hence, it is yet another fight between the executive and the judiciary in the United States of America on the executive order to ban immigration or entry or issuance of visas to 6 countries that are Muslim-dominated in population, and for now, it is a hold on the executive order. Will there be a repeal? Will there be a revised executive order after ensuring that the judge does not go ahead and object to President Trump's executive order yet again? Is something we'll have to wait and see. But for now, it certainly is a hold, given that he's a federal judge.
Right, Geeta, stay on with us. Let's listen into some more reactions coming in on the story.
Tonight I'll go home, I'll turn on, I'll say, listen, I'll turn on that television. My wife will say, darling, it's too bad you got booed. I said, I didn't get booed, this was 11. I said, no, they were booing Obamacare. Watch, a couple of them will actually do it, almost guaranteed. But when we call them out, it makes it harder for them to do it, so we'll see. don't think this was done by a judge for political reasons, do you? No. This ruling makes us look weak, which, by the way, we no longer are, believe me. Just look at our borders. We're going to fight this terrible ruling. We're going to take our case as far as it needs to go, including all the way up to the Supreme Court. We're going to win. We're going to keep our citizens safe. And regardless, we're going to keep our citizens safe, believe me. Even liberal Democratic lawyer Alan Dershowitz, good lawyer, just said that we would win this case before the Supreme Court of the United States. Remember this, I wasn't thrilled. But the lawyers all said, oh, let's tailor it. This is a watered-down version of the first one. This is a watered-down version. And let me tell you something. I think we ought to go back to the first one and go all the way, which is what I wanted to do in the first one. The danger is clear. The law is clear. The need for my executive order is clear. I was elected to change our broken and dangerous system and thinking in government that has weakened and endangered our country and left our people defenseless.
And going back across to Geeta Mohan, Geeta, what are the reasons that have been cited by this judge for going against Trump?
It's very specifically, Vanna says that the order, the executive order that has been issued by President Donald Trump is fundamentally flawed, and that by the notion that one can demonstrate animosity, that's animus toward one group of people only by targeting all of them at once is fundamentally flawed. And has called the entire order absolutely illogical, and contentions on the basis of which the government has really come out with this executive order is absolutely flawed, is what Judge Watson has written in his entire 43-page argument against this executive order. It very clearly, Vanna says that if there are problems that emanate from certain people, from certain soils, does not mean all the people in those countries are bad, and hence, in that logic, given that it could be discriminatory and could be called discriminatory, he has put a hold on this executive order, saying that all people from these 6 countries are not bad. There are problems that exist, but it cannot justify an absolute ban of people from those countries.
Right, Geeta, you were mentioning earlier how the executive and the judiciary in the United States right now are at loggerheads with one another. What are experts saying about this unusual situation in the U.S.?
Well, it is unusual, but it is not the first time. The first executive order, again, had seen a disruption when the travel ban was frozen by yet another judge, after which this is the second revised executive order. And once the federal judge has come out with an opinion saying or putting a ban or freezing this entire travel ban, there cannot be any forward movement till this entire tussle, Vanna, between the judiciary and the executive is resolved. But look at President Trump's reaction to the entire episode. One, he's calling it a judicial overreach, which many of them in the United States of America might be calling. But there are others who say that it is the judiciary that needs to check on the executive on issues such as this that could be sweeping in its policies and its judgment on countries. And hence, this could take a while before President Trump can come up with yet another executive order. But this time around, he's saying he's going to go back to the old one, which was rather stringent.
Right, Trump's executive order on hold for now. Thank you, Geeta, for getting us all those details on the story.